Do you think you're special? Do you think you're original? Did you even choose that outfit? Or did the internet choose it for you? That's what I thought.
You think you're something special, don't you?
Welcome to the Thought Before Bed podcast, the podcast where I share all the thought that keeps me up at night. My name is KF, and tonight's thought is anyone truly original anymore, or are we all just different shade of the same person? Let's talk about it. Think about it. When was the last time you were scrolling through social media, either Instagram or TikTok, and you saw someone that you were like, oh my god, this person is so amazing, so creative, so unique? Probably a really long time, because it's always the same trends, the same audios, the same dances. And that's not only a problem for social media, it's a problem in a lot of industries. For example, fashion nowadays moves like a flip book. We went from Y2K to mobile to cottagecore in a matter of what, month? Trends don't evolve anymore. They flash, fade, and they disappear before we can even name them. But underneath all this recycling is a deeper, really uncomfortable question that we have to ask. Is originality still possible? Or are we all just recycling and reusing all the stuff that has already been done? Let's begin what's right in front of us, the world that we live in.
Well, there's no time like the present to learn.
Originality in the 21st century feels like a performance. Everyone is wearing a costume to fit in and not to stand out. And that's because of a lot of factors. Take social media. Everything is a performance and a template. Everyone is imitating one another. Everyone is doing the same dances and the same trends, using the same audios. Let me give you one example. Hailey Bieber. She's actually one of the reasons that inspired this video, because she's quite the trendsetter. One of the trends that she sets, the sushi challenge. I don't even know how to call the challenge or the trend. One day Hailey Bieber ate sushi with the mask on. The next day everyone doing the same thing. Or when she posted about the glazed donut skin. That phrase alone sparked millions of videos on TikTok. But here's the thing. She did not invent skincare or dinner. But everyone is treating it like a revelation for some sorts, which is really confusing to me. According to a 25 study from active platforms like TikTok, actively punish deviation. Contents that strays from trending formats get up to 40% less reach. We're not just imitating, we are trained to imitate, which makes it even harder for original creators to be seen. You probably experienced this yourself while scrolling through TikTok and you saw someone who is really creative, who deserves to be seen, but unfortunately have really low performance. For example, they have like really low views, low likes, sometimes no comments. And it's not just a social media platforms. The art world isn't immune either. Originality there feels just as rare. Everyone wants to imitate a certain artist that they really inspire to be. For example, Basquiat. Jean-Michel Basquiat's raw, chaotic genius, once a rebellion, is now a brand. Young artists replicate his crowns and scribble text, but often strip them of context, voice, and feelings. Not because they're truly inspired, but because that's what gets attention. As one Reddit thread put it, it's aesthetic without angst.
I find Basquiat clones so interesting, so funny, honestly. They are constantly copying the man's work, even some of them selling that copied work, whether it's the original or prints. And a lot of them are so uncanny. This is a Basquiat right here, 1986. And this is that. Like, it's so obvious, and it's so weird too, because it's like you're painting a black man here. That's what that is. But Basquiat's work, it's inspired by his heritage, the way he grew up, his love for jazz and poetry, and in pop culture at the time. But these people go and make the exact same work without any of that inspiration. Like, something about that is just so insulting. Like, it's so weird.
Even the music industry isn't safe. Artists copy one another so much nowadays that everything starts to sound the same thing, which makes a lot of unused samples for the charts. One popular example is the sample from Show Me Love by Robin S. It's been reused over and over again, including in Beyonce Break My Soul. As a music lover myself, I really find a hard time finding music to listen now, not as much as I used before. Like, I used to download like every week at least 4 songs, at least. Even hip-hop, a genre that's built on sampling, is starting to face a lot of criticism nowadays because of lack of transformation. A music historian, Eduardo Chavez, wrote in Business Insider, sampling used to be about reinvention. Now it's often just repetition. And we can't talk about originality without talking about fashion. Honestly, fashion might be the worst offender right now. And trends used last seasons, maybe more than seasons, but now they barely last weeks. We went from Klinger to Y2K to Mobwife to Tomato Girl just in a few months. Micro trends are exhausting. They don't just hurt originality, they also hurt our environments. Fast fashion brands like Shein reportedly drop 6,000 new items a day, according to a journalist Paris Good Fashion. The result, a landfill of discarded identities. People change their entire aesthetic in a matter of months, which is really, really unfortunate. And when someone tries to be original, try to be special, or wear something that really this person feels uncomfortable in, just like TikTok creator All Things Kinu, they get mocked, bullied, even racially harassed for dressing differently. It's not disappointing, it's revealing. It shows how fast we turn on what we don't understand. A Medium article by Amy Koshi points out that fashion now plays a direct role in social inclusion, which actually has always been the case. Wearing brands like Ralph Lauren or Nike can determine your worth in the eyes of your peers.
A lot of people are like, nobody's unique anymore, everybody looks and dresses the same. But then when someone actually is unique and dresses super different or looks super different, they're like, no, not like that, that's unique in an ugly way, but unique in a hot way.
Another problem we're facing when it comes to originality is AI, which again, one of the biggest problems that everyone has to face. And it's not just the technology itself, it's the way how it's being used. Those tools are trained on massive data sets filled with human-made work, art, writing, music, photography, all scrapped from the internet without consent. And it's not just inspiration, it's extraction. Years, sometimes decades of someone creative labor are being fed into machines that can spit out content in seconds, often without credit or compensation to the original artist.
15 months of work versus 15 seconds with AI. Artists at Studio Ghibli spent over a year drawing this 4-second scene. That's 97 hand-drawn frames, about 6 a month. I asked AI to create a similar scene and it was done almost instantly. Now, let's be real, this is objectively better in every regard. The craft, depth, detail, and emotion. But Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, says these Ghibli-style images are the future, that we should embrace AI because it makes creativity easier for everyone. But Ghibli didn't give permission, and they're not alone. Getty Images tried suing Stability AI over mass copyright infringement, representing 50,000 artists at once. But the UK High Court blocked this specific claim because Getty can't prove exactly which images Stability AI used in their training.
And the companies behind this, they're not just allowing it, they are making it easier. Adobe, for example, has faced backlash over unclear terms that may allow AI to train on users' works. Platforms like Midjourney and OpenAI image tools have been caught generating near identical copies of living artist styles. This isn't just a copyright issue, it's a crisis of ownership and authorship. We're at a point where AI can mimic everything, every style, but the soul behind it. And yet, people are calling it creativity. How it can be called original when the very foundation was taken without permission? It's honestly chilling that this is even open for debate. Like, I've seen so many threads on Reddit and other social media talking about this, and it's really disappointing to see where have we become. What the hell? We have become? What's going on? For me, people who claim that using AI for art is creativity, just lazy people without any talents and inspiration. Shame. But here's the twist. This isn't new. In fact, imitation might be the oldest human tradition at all.
In the next century, that tradition continues.
Yep, you heard that right. Isn't just a Gen Z or 21st century issue. Copying, borrowing, and remixing has always been part of the creative process. Take Shakespeare, for example. Out of his 37 plays, only 2, Love's Labour Lost and The Tempest, had truly original plots. The rest were borrowed from Roman poets like Ovid, medieval writers like Chaucer, and Italian storytellers like Boccaccio. According to SparkNotes and Edward Elgar Publishing, reconciling copyrights with cumulative creativity, Shakespeare didn't invent, he elevated. He took familiar tales and gave them emotional weight and psychological depth. That's what made them feel timeless. The Renaissance worked the same way. Artists like Jacopo Tintoretto openly mimicked the styles of their more famous peers like Titian and Veronese, not because they lacked talents, but because imitation was a respected learning method. According to The Collector, copying was part of the artistic training, not theft. In fact, many medieval artists didn't even sign their work. A 2025 Reddit thread on r/art history points out that clients often requested copies of popular religious scenes. The goal wasn't to be unique, it was to be skilled. Even Disney, the master of original storytelling, built his empire on retelling. Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, The Little Mermaid, none of them were Disney invention. They were public domain fairy tales. As legal scholar Derek Hanna put it in Medium, Disney didn't invent stories, they Disneyfied them. But maybe the most powerful case of creative remixing is hip-hop. The Sugar Hill Gang 1979 hit rappers Daylight famously sampled Chick's Good Times. Kanye West Stronger reimaginated Daft Punk Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger into a stadium anthem. Eminem turned Dido's Thank You into a tragic narrative instead. As music critic Pierre-Henri wrote in the DV Campus, the magic isn't just taking it, it's transforming. Sampling is proof that art evolves through reinterpretation. So if remixing has always been part of the creativity, why does it feel different now?
Well, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Imitation isn't a flaw in our system, it's based on who we are. According to Roth Consulting, mimicry is a key part of human development. As children, we imitate to learn how to walk, speak, behave. As adults, we imitate to belong. Psychologists Tanya Chartrand and John Bach describe this as the chameleon effect, the unconscious urge to mirror others in order to build connection. It's subtle, automatic, and deeply human. And the need to belong, it doesn't just disappear, it actually intensifies as we grow older. A 2015 study published in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology found that people who feel socially rejected were more likely to mimic others. Imitations become a kind of social survival instinct, a way of signaling, don't leave me out, I'm just like you. Now applied to the social media. It's the same psychological wiring, it's just influenced by the algorithm. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram reward conformity. The content that trends is the content that fits the same audios, the same editing style, the same aesthetic. According to a 2022 study published on Arxiv, algorithmic filtering reduces exposure to novelty and reinforces echo chambers. What's unfamiliar gets sidelined, what different is labeled irrelevant or buried altogether. And what happens to the ones who don't conform? Well, they get punished. Well, at first. Take actress Lauren Blanchard, who was mocked for her unconventional fashion choices, only to be praised years later when her styles become trendy. Society resists difference until it's been normalized, then celebrates it in hindsight. But here's what gets interesting. Imitations apparently is not the enemy of originality. It actually can enhance it. A 2016 study by Kentaro Ishibashi and Takeshi Okada asked our students to copy abstract drawing before creating their own work. The surprising results: the students who copied first produced more original art. Mimicking helped loosen their mental constraints and unlocked unexpected creativity. The act of copying gave the brain a new starting point. This checks out historically. In medieval and Renaissance Europe, artists weren't seen as visionary geniuses, they were considered skilled craftsmen. Clients would often commission them to recreate the same religious or mythological scenes over and over again, with only minor variations. Originality wasn't the goal, service was. Creativity lived in the execution, not the idea itself. So maybe imitation is the opposite of originality. Maybe it's a story that grows from.
Oh, I'm so nervous.
So for me, originality has always felt like a dream or a trap. Because as a painter myself, as an artist myself, I had an issue with originality. I learned painting from artists, from copying other artists, from learning new skills and new techniques by copying other artists, which is again a really normal way of learning. But while doing that, I had a hard time finding my own style, and when trying to do my own thing without having an inspiration, I just end up really hating what I did, and really just the fact that I wasted my time in doing something really that I didn't like at the end really irritated me, really made me kind of depressed, not gonna lie. So I haven't painted for almost 5 years now. I know, crazy. But that's how it is. I'm actually trying to start repainting again. Actually, I'm starting to use watercolor. I'm actually traveling to Spain now, like in a couple of hours. I have a plane because it's already, I think, 5 a.m. Yeah, so that's that. And I'm really excited to start repainting again. But anyway, apart from that, it's okay to I think it's okay to copy others, but there is limitations. You have to give the credit where it should be. Learning by copying is a natural part of growth, but copying without credits, that's just not okay. That's not just inspiration, that's just erasure. If something you create is heavily inspired by someone, please just give that person a credit. Tag a writer, tag the artist, the painter, whatever, who that person is. Respect where your remix come from. Because originality doesn't mean isolation. It means knowing from you learn from. Honor that person and still add your own touch to the remix. Voltaire once said, originality is nothing but Judy's imitation. The most original writers borrowed one from another. Shakespeare remixed old myth in Italian novellas. Basquiat blended jazz, graffiti, and African American history. Disney reimaginated centuries of old fairy tales. And you can do the same thing. You can remix everything that you want. You can write a song from your love life. You can paint a landscape. You can do everything that you want, basically. Just respect. So maybe we've been chasing the wrong idea of originality. Maybe it's not about inventing something new. Maybe it's about enhancing and improving what's already have been done. This is the end of the episode. I don't know how I did. This is actually my first one, so I'm pretty excited. So I would like to know, what do you think? Do you agree with my opinion? Do you think originality is not about inventing something new? Or do you think it's wrong that copying is not okay, imitating is not okay? I would like to hear about that. And I'm also open to criticism. If you don't like something, just tell me. I'm really open. I would like to improve. This is my first episode and I'm really excited about this. So that's it. Thank you for listening, and I really hope that you have a good night. Goodbye. Good night. Bye.